Hello everybody, welcome to How to Make Your Wife Happy and Healthy. Today we're going to take a trip to la 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 Grandma's house. La 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 Grandma's house. Grandma loves her Teddy and Leah too. That's Grandma's house. We're going there for Labor Day weekend. We're going to make two wonderful dishes. You want to know what they are? Well, come on. Let's get cooking. Today's shout out goes to John Shine. He was our weekly contest winner. If you want to enter the contest, skip ahead and find out how, and then come back and watch the rest of the video. Here I am, all ready to have two tri-tips for you. One done medium rare, one done well done, where I toss in the oven first, then put it on the grill to finish off to get a nice texture on the coating outside. Very flavorful, very wonderful. Then I looked at my meat that I defrosted. I had a tri-tip and a chuck roast. So what am I going to do? Well, we're going to do a comparison instead. We're going to take this chuck roast, cut it in half, tri-tip, cut it in half, do both to one to a medium rare, one to a nice well done, and see which one they like better. Probably the tri-tip. But now I'm going to see, can I use a chuck roast with the same method I cook tri-tip? So let's get to the ingredients. Here are the ingredients. 3 pounds of chuck roast, 3 pounds of untrimmed tri-tip, 1 cup of the cheapest red wine you can find, 1 cup Worcestershire sauce. So you can keep the wine and Worcestershire sauce a nice 1-to-1 ratio. Tastes very nice. Salt, pepper, and garlic powder to taste. Normally, I wouldn't cut the tri-tip at all. Just put it all one big slab in the bag and put it on the marinade. But since I gotta do 2 of them, we're gonna cut it in half right about here. So that's what the inside of a tri-tip looks like.
What? Appetizing.
Okay, so we'll put those 2 halves in the bag. And get out the chuck roast. Oh, we'll cut this one in half too. So we're going to cut this one in half. I have chosen this diagonal cut, going with the grain, so each half will kind of like be a half of a chuck roast. I'll admit this is harder to cut. And the tri-tip was right on through, right in half. A lot more fat in this one.
Not appetizing.
Well, we'll try them both. I guess what would they tell them which is which to get a fair trial? Okay, so we got our 4 cuts of meat all ready to go. Doesn't matter which you do first, the wine or the Worcestershire. If I find that a cup of each is not enough, I'll add some more in equal proportions. So here's going in a cup of wine. Again, doesn't need to be expensive. Cheap red wine is fine. You can get cheap red wine anywhere. I have seen for as little as, I don't know, $3 for a bottle. There's the wine. Here's the Worcestershire.
How much does that wine cost?
I don't know. It was like $7. maybe more, I can't remember. Pour in the Worcestershire, 1 cup. Equal parts wine and Worcestershire. 1 cup of each. That looks like a good amount. We're gonna zip up the bag. Won't really know until I zip it up. Make sure you zip it well, because you don't want any of this running out in the refrigerator. Okay, it's zipped up well as the air is. And I like to push the air out to get as close to an airtight seal as possible. Push as much out as you can. This will give more surface area of meat with the marinade. Okay, nice tight seal. There we go, yes, that's a good amount of marinade. This is a good amount of marinade. You can see right in this that most of the steak gets the marinade. Flip it over a couple times. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in the refrigerator overnight, 24-hour marinade. We're gonna flip it over once after 12 hours. Well, after I wake up. Because right now it's about 2 o'clock. I'm not gonna wake up at 2 in the morning. So instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over just before I go to bed. And after I get up, flip it over again. So I get enough marinade on both sides to coat it all. Hopefully it'll be very tasty with this wonderful marinade. So now we're gonna put it in the refrigerator. But before I put it in the refrigerator, I like to put it on a cookie tray. Just in case it decides it wants to leak, the leakage will hit up the cookie tray instead of the refrigerator. Less cleanup in the kitchen if it goes bad. Okay, so we're gonna take this wonderful soon-to-be steak. We're gonna put it into the refrigerator. Remember, after about halfway through, we're gonna flip it over so the other side will get marinated. Flip it over, the other side will be marinated. So let's put it in and wait for that 12-hour window to close. Right in here. So right about 24 hours in the marinade, this is what they look like. You can see they look pretty well marinated, both sides. Look nice. So I'm gonna take them out of the marinade, wrap them in foil to get them ready to put in the oven. Put around foil so that the outside doesn't get dry. That's what you want to do. That's why it's that. I'm also gonna put them on top of a cookie tray so that if the juice comes out, it'll stay in the tray. So here you can see the chuck roast. Nice marinade. Gonna wrap it up, making sure not to have any openings. Next, got one of the tri-tips. Make sure you use lots of foil and make sure you wrap it completely around. If you don't have enough foil the first time, you can add a second one. So I'm gonna put these two on one tray, and these ones are gonna go in first. Now after a half hour, we'll put in the other two. So we'll have two different donenesses when all is said and done. There's tray 2. This one's going to be the medium rare one. So we're going to set the other tray in first, and then 30 minutes we'll set in this one. So to get a medium rare and a medium well tri-tip, I'm going to put them in the oven at 2 different times, set at 325. I'm going to put the first one in, that's going to be the medium well one, then a half hour later, the medium rare one. It's going to cook for about 120 for the medium well one, and about 50 minutes for medium rare. We'll see how it goes. We want to put them in different times so when they come out, they're both ready for the barbecue. Okay, the first tri-tip's been in there for about 30 minutes. So now it's time to put in our second tri-tip for 50 minutes. While I do so, I'm going to test the first one. Little poke tests. Don't use your fingers, it's still going to be hot. So I'm just going to take this, poke it in a little. Yeah, it pokes a lot. That is still really, really, really rare. It's going to start a timer 50 minutes. And that means in about, 35 minutes or so, we're going to start the coals so that we can barbecue to finish it off. That nice barbecued flavor to it. So try out 50 minutes and see how well it cooks it. I decided to test the tri-tip at the 50-minute mark, and I found out something. Open up and I push down. There's very little give there. When I push in, there's very little give. So this one is already pretty well done. So if that's true, that means we need to take it off the heat, get that barbecue going, and grill it right up. Oh, by the way, the juices inside, you want to keep those for dipping later if you like. It's a very tasty juice. So we're going to turn off the oven at this time. And we're going to take them out so we can get the barbecue ready for them. So that one looks fairly well done. That means if I go to the other ones, they should still be nice and tender. Let's take a look. See, a lot more push, a lot more give on this tri-tip. That's a lot of give. That's a nice medium rare to rare doneness. So 50 minutes, got it well done. 30 minutes at 325, got our tri-tip. It looks like a medium rare style. So we're going to take it out right now. Maybe I'm just going to rest of it while I get the coals fired up. I'm going to get these coals going. We can finish off the barbecue. The tri-tips here, they've been resting for quite a bit, unfortunately. I wish they'd gone straight on the grill, but they didn't. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take out all that wonderful juice, because that's not going to go on the barbecue. I'm going to save it out into this bowl. All the wonderful juice into the bowl. Oh, wow. Broke right through that foil, didn't it? Take the second one. Do better this time. Go from the side, maybe. All the beautiful juice from the baked tri-tip into a bowl for dipping. Wonderful flavor. It's got the wine and the beef juice ready to go. Take the next one, a little more warm. These are the ones that are well done. All that juice, a lot more juice than the ones that got more well done. And one more tri-tip to go. Take a look. That juice in there. There you go, a whole bowl of juice just waiting to be placed on the table so you can dip your tri-tip in. Okay, as you can see, as we were getting the mashed potatoes ready, the coals got nice and extremely hot. In fact, they shrank a bit. That means a lot of it burned away. Pour them out. Just rake them around. You can see I'm a baby when it comes to fire. I have to make a nice little hot pad. Okay, that's a good spread out. I think that'll be good enough for the coals. For the tri-tip, going to put it on the grate. Nice and hot. Now it's time to bring out the tri-tips and cook them up and get that nice little crust on the outside. Okay, first, so I can poke this one pretty well. This is the more rare one. I'll place it on top. There's some more rare cuts on top. More well done ones. Place it on. Place it on. And yes, we are going to cover our grill and cook them to perfection. About 3 minutes per side. Get a nice blackened crust on the outside. This is actually the nice caramelized crust. Turn out 3 minutes, you can see the smoke is flying. Time to turn them over. Ah, yes, a nice flame on that one. Whew. You can see this is the nice caramelizing you want on your tri-tip. Another 3 minutes. And if you're wondering what happened to salt and pepper, you could have put it on after you put it in the oven. I could put it on then. Nice little peppery, salty, garlicky crust. Or you could have put it on when you first put it in the oven. Either one still work. But I didn't do it this time. Alright. We can see lots of smoke here. Nice big lots of smoke coming out. It's got all that smoky flavor onto the tri-tip and the chuck roast. Shh, they won't know. And so now we're going to take them out. Gonna cut them up. Hopefully that one's medium rare. I'm afraid it's a little more done than I like it. Woo! Let's do the poke tests. So you can see the poke test. See, look at all that give. More of a medium rare. Got a lot of give. Oh, this is lots of, oh, look at that. See? Difference? Look at that give. That's medium rarish. Not much give. That's the more medium well. See that? Okay, the medium rare. This one, medium well. This one is medium well. Remember, these ones are the medium well ones. This one and this one. Chuck and tri-tip. Shh. We'll see what they think. What's the difference? You can see the tri-tip, and tri-tip here. All right, let's get them in and cut them up. Now, in breaking down the coal grill, I am going to close all the vents at the bottom. Close them up. Close that. One more click close. Open. Come on. Alright. There's all of it at the bottom. Close the vent on the top. That takes all the oxygen out. So the coals are going to burn themselves out inside. And you'll still have some coals left over to use later. So let's start with this one. This is supposed to be the more well done version. So let's take some slices through it. And as I cut through, you'll see very little pink inside. This is the way my son and my wife like it. Very little pink. Just a touch of pink. So yeah, so that was 50 minutes. inside a 325-degree oven. 50 minutes and just a little bit of pink. If you cooked for a little bit longer in the oven, you'd have gotten rid of all of the pink. You can see the great thing about the tri-tip, you got that crust on the edge. Adds a lot of flavor for your roast. And as normal with tri-tip, the thinner part will get more done than the thicker part. That's the bread for you. Another 15 minutes would have taken care of that. Let's put that back on the plate. And let's now cut the other roast. Again, when I pushed it in, it seemed like it was going to be more of a well done cut, so let's see. As I slice through, you can see it definitely is lacking the pink. Oh, there's some. That has a little bit of pink. I'm a little surprised. Alright, now on to the more medium rare. Let's hope. Now the edges are not going to be medium rare, they're going to be pretty much well done. That's what happens with tri-tip. And most roasts that have a thin side. As we get to the middle, hopefully there we go. So remember, this one was cooked 20 minutes less in the oven at 325. I cooked it for about 30 minutes in the oven at 325, and it is a nice medium rare. Look at that.
Nom nom nom.
Just like my daughter and I like. Oh yes, look at that
Nom nom nom.
redness in the center. Alright, now let's cut open that second roast. Should also be a nice medium rare in quality. Let's take a look. What?
Mommy took a whole entire meat.
Which one? Tri-tip.
What's the difference between this tri-tip and the other tri-tip?
I cooked them differently.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Star.
The good thing about that kind of I just had was that it mixed very well with the mashed potatoes, and the edges of it were not very hard and like crusty, but the insides were also very tender. Oh, we should try this one. This one has much more flavor. And also, it has a much harder crust on the outside, while the inside is a little bit thicker and not as tender, but I like this one better than the other one.
Okay.
I want some ajou. I should bring the board over. Don't stir. Good sauce. This knife doesn't cut. This texture is really good because it's nice and chewy, but there's some crunchy parts. And the juice complements it, but I can't really taste it.
Okay.
Other meat.
We'll move it over there.
This meat's texture seems a little better though. And it seems sweeter than this one for some reason. Why is it sweeter? It's the same exact thing. But they both taste good with my mashed potatoes.
Since you made this far, go ahead and taste that like button, just like my kids tasted both the tri-tip and the chuck roast on a tri-tip salad, see which one they liked better. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to be notified of all my new videos that come out on Mondays. And just to mess with those who do not watch this part of the video, be sure to slip the word Santa Maria into your comments down below for a chance to shout out in my next video. Thanks for watching. Have a happy and healthy day.